All right. Really excited to send these seniors off with a win. Thought they've done a lot for Washington State. For me personally, I got to coach all of them for 3 and 4 years. Just great to see them come out with the fire and the edge that we needed, and for Ethan and Dane to finish with 23 points and 17 points. Just happy for them to send us off with a win.
Obviously, as you said, the win's what's important, but I think the second half probably the opposite of what you were hoping to see. In your eyes, what happened down the stretch to where once a 30-point lead is you're having to claw to see that one out?
The big thing we've talked about this last week is just making sure we're getting our identity back as far as being the most competitive team and the most together team. And I thought we showed that the first half. We stayed focused on that when things went wrong. And there weren't that many times where there was much adversity in the first half, and so we were able to stick with each other. We were staying competitive. I thought the second half, whether it was just not having our edge or a couple things didn't go our way and we lost focus, I don't think we were the more competitive team, and that's what we need to fight for in this culture, and we need to build that every day.
Obviously, it's not the first time that kind of this scenario played out. I think you look back at Boise State, you look at Northern Iowa, obviously won both those games. I think you commented something to the degree of, being god-awful in the last 3.5 minutes, if my memory serves. Is there something that you can kind of point to in all these games that just seems to be the pressing issue where, 20 to 25 to tonight, 30-point leads are suddenly becoming very close games in the last few minutes?
Yeah, I think our things snowball too easy for our team, and when one or two things go wrong, we're not able to have the resilience or the toughness or whatever you want to call it to snap out of that quick enough. Now we do. It just takes us a little bit too long, and I think that's something that takes time. That's done with culture. That's done with guys that have been here before and can give confidence to their teammates. And so we need to get better at that. I need to coach that better, and I just think that that's something that you need if you want to win championships.
What goes into the art of kind of getting better at that and coaching that better?
I think there's a lot of ways you can coach it, as far as just like competing and making sure that guys are connected. They're moving on to the next play. You can put it in drills, but really it just comes with going through a fire with someone. And I think these guys, as they go through a fire, as they spend more time where they're competing with each other, they're able to understand when someone's down, what someone needs, and I think we just got to get a little bit more connected.
What's the balance of being able to coach your guys out of bad habits like this where you let a big lead shrink? Is that something because we obviously attribute a lot to you as a head coach, but at some point it's in the players' hands as well. What's the balance, or what's the line between here's what I can do as a head coach versus I have to be able to trust my guys to take care of things down the stretch?
There's different ways to attack it. Like you look at it's a while back, but like Phil Jackson used to let his teams just sit out there and not call a timeout. Let them figure it out. They go on these crazy runs against him, but that was more during the regular season, and he was kind of teaching his guys how to have some self-correcting and figure that out. And we don't really want to do that in college basketball. There's not as many games, so we don't have that luxury. But I think trying to put our guys in that position in practice in different ways to help them with that. But again, it's kind of got to get built through time.
Dan and Ethan playing their last games here, obviously 23 and 17 for those guys. Dane fouls out, which he laughed about. But what was it like, having your two seniors be, your two leading scorers in their last games here?
I just think those two they've poured their heart into this season. They've poured their heart into their college basketball careers, and this game meant a lot. This season meant a lot to them, and obviously we haven't finished this last month like we wanted to. But they've come in every single day with great spirit. They've been keeping the guys focused. They've attacked each day like they need to, and obviously they've had times where they've struggled, that things haven't gone their way. But I just think their focus has been a great example of what we want to build on, and for them to come out and lead us in scoring and have some big Ethan had some big rebounds down the stretch. Dane fouled out, unfortunately, but he was able to have some big time minutes and have 23 points in 18 minutes. And I thought his aggression, and he forced a few turnovers as well. So just two great people that really impacted the game today. And then lastly, Cedric Coward, I've never seen anyone affect a team so much without even playing. And he was in everyone's ear all week. He was up there cooking team meal with his family last night for the whole team, and just really has his fingerprints all over this as well. And so just proud of those 3 seniors and excited we could get a win for him.
Obviously a lot of emotion with senior night, but I know you have a lot of things you're looking forward to, but are there any emotions for you personally for your final regular season matchup in Beasley in your first season here?
You know what? I kind of walked down the tunnel today, and I saw the crew getting ready for the game about an hour before the game, and it kind of just hit me that this is my last game in Beasley for the year, and I just been thinking so much about my last game at home, coaching Ethan and Dane, and being around Cedric, and I kind of just thought about them as much as possible. But it's been an incredible year here for me in year 1, and just excited to keep building, and I guess I'll be able to think about that in a few weeks when the season's over.
Yeah, Coach, congrats on securing a winning record first year at Wazoo. What does this excite you for next year? What are you most excited looking forward to for next year?
Man, there's a ton. Like, I spent a lot of time these last few days. Like, last week was the first time we've had two home games in a week. There's a little more free time, less travel. I mean, this WCC schedule is kind of crazy, where we go on the road once a week, it seems like. So got to spend a lot of time kind of writing some stuff down and things we want to fix and things we want to change and get better at going into the end of the season and moving on towards next year. And so there's a lot. Like, I think we have a great foundation that we built here in year 1. I think we have some great people that will help build this tradition. But I just think there's going to be a lot of fun times, a lot of good wins, and looking at that Gonzaga game here when we packed it out, just want to keep building towards that.
Yeah, Coach, you mentioned the tough schedule in the West Coast Conference, and I know you guys also played a tough non-con. You spoke earlier this week saying that you thought the team was maybe feeling a little bit burnt out. Do you think, looking ahead to the future, that looking at that non-conference schedule could be something that you'd keep your eye on and try to maybe lighten the load in the preseason for the guys?
I think the games are the games. Like, you're playing Division I basketball, you're going to play against tough teams. Like, I want to go play a hard schedule. We'll play anyone, anywhere. Now, I think the way we practiced when we had some guys that were banged up, and I think there's definitely some things that I can learn as far as not maybe burning them out as early with their legs and everything like that. But we're going to go play a hard schedule. We're in the Maui Invitational next year. We're going to play some good teams, and we're always going to be ready to go compete.
And last question, what's the message to the team headed down to Vegas?
Right now is let's go win this game in Pepperdine, and let's get the seed that we want, and we'll just take this thing one game at a time. And we're excited. We know we got a great team. We can go just take it one day and one win at a time.
Noticed right before the second half started, Nate wasn't going through layup lines and didn't seem the last few minutes. Something going on there with him injury-wise, or was there something kind of bugging him?
He's carried a lot of minutes this season, and that's typically what he does at halftime, and gets locked in, talks to the coaches about what schemes we'll be in, and late game we were mixing things up. He was banged up a little bit. Guys have been playing a lot of minutes, and just went with those guys.
All right, thanks, Coach. Thanks, Coach.
Go Cougs!